Hello YouTube, this is RPG Mayhem here with my first and hopefully many videos talking about RPGs, video games, and just my all-around opinion of what's going on in the gaming world. A little bit about myself, I'm a college student for game design right now. Hopefully in a couple of years I'll be making video games for you. Woo! Too much on the hair flip, too much on the hair flip. Or if this shit goes fucking south of the fucking border and I'm in fucking space in Mexico, I'll be on the streets begging for change from you again. There we go. Got that shit down. Anyway, moving on. Let's jump right into the first video. You cool cats and dolls out there in YouTube land. We're going to go take a little trip through memory lane. Talking about gaming, what it was when we were growing up into what it is now. And just the fact that it's just a huge difference in what it was and in the quality of games that we had back then versus the quality of the games we have now. And it's not to say that the games we have now have no quality. But the bullshit we are dealing with games is asinine. Some of the shit I've heard through the years about gaming, the ending of stories being considered downloadable content, overall making a game that's truly been about choices and character development and you truly shaping the character into your ideal of a hero, and then we're like gonna fuck up the ending of that shit and just go give you a linear cut and paste dry ending. DLC practices, and I'm not even gonna get into that fucking shit. And it's just overall, just overall, it makes me go at fucking times and goes, what the fuck? Those were never really as bad or hardcore fucking issues when we were growing up. It was, we got the fucking game, we got what we paid for. It was either a good game or it was a crappy fucking game. Now games are just painfully crappy. It's like they're crappy, but like they want to play a trick on you, and they're like, we're gonna try to go make this game crappy, but we're not gonna go make it noticeably crappy. It's gonna be like, if there's going to be no consistency with the game, you're gonna be playing and you're gonna be like, oh wait, it looks like it's picking up. It looks like, oh no, they just dropped the fucking ball and it's no fucking fun. Or games are just fucking boring. I've never had to really run into that problem. I mean, really. Leave a comment below if this has ever happened to you when you were a kid, that you just ran into a shit ton of boring fucking games. But, I mean, the list of boring games I ran into when I was a kid can be named on one fucking hand. Seriously. They're so damn boring I can't remember their fucking names. But I'm going to make a fucking list of this shit. But the overall experience was just hugely different. And going into 2013, really looking at the variety of games that are coming out next year, we're going into this sequel marathon. Like, Rob was fucking right. Like, the idea well is dry. And that's a tier for me because I actually want to get out there. I actually want to go make fucking video games. I want to go try pressing new ideas and shit. And people or the industry is in this fucking Call of Duty recession where if it ain't Call of Duty and we don't make as much money as fucking Call of Duty, nobody gives a fuck about Call of Duty, okay? I mean, people like it. It's not a bad game. I'm not going to go debate my fucking feelings on fucking Call of Duty. To each their fucking own. If you enjoy it, you enjoy it. I enjoy fucking zombies. That's the only aspect I can probably get out of the fucking game. But then I could go play Left 4 Dead and get more fucking fun out of that. People were playing online, 360 people. Anyway, that aside, and we need our Left 4 Dead fucking 3. What the industry wants out of fucking gaming is ridiculous. Like, I hear people talking about how certain practices are doing this, how they're ignoring fucking fans, and all this other shit. And it just makes you go, what is going on? Like, this was never a huge issue growing up. You had your fan base, and you were loyal to your fan base. Like, you had fans. You had people who would constantly put money into a said product. And you tried to keep those people fucking happy. Nowadays, it's like, here's your game, shut up, push it to the side, of course. Now, we need to go talk to those Call of Duty people. Like, Come here. Just come here. Yeah. Ignore those nerds. You guys are the ones we're looking for. And it just pisses me the fuck off to no fucking believe. I can't go really think of any games growing up that had that shit. Of course, games had controversy. Games apparently did change to a certain degree. And of course, fans dropped off from franchises. I mean, I guess the biggest wake-up call for me was when Final Fantasy fucking 13 came out. And this is my opinions on the game. My opinions, but of course, naturally, Final Fantasy was the game that jump-started me into RPGs like so many other people. 13 just fucking killed it. I mean, I was hyped about it. It looked interesting. I waited the time for it. Then I play it and oh my god, it's just I'm fine. I'm like, dude, wait. So it's turn-based, yet I can only control one character. I can go tell two other characters what they should do in battle, and the boss is real time. Some jackass was sitting behind a fucking desk with a fucking controller in his hand like, this is fun. The boss can move, I can move, but I can't go control which way I move. Attack? Spell? What do I do? I'm just like, make it real time. Make it turn-based. I don't want this half-ass, lazy fucking shit in a fucking video game. And people are like, oh, well, did you play Final Fantasy 13 too? Yes, I fucking played it. And it dropped the fucking ball again. Not to say a Final Fantasy game built upon multiple timelines and you navigating through said timelines to get to a certain end wasn't an interesting idea, because it was very much an interesting idea that I would have liked more if it was executed properly. But boring characters, no matter how interesting your story might be, your characters are boring. Nobody gave a fuck about Noble Christ. Nobody cared. Everybody's like, oh, you get to play as Lightning Sister. I didn't give a fuck about Lightning Sister in the first game, because I didn't like fucking Lightning in the first game. Seriously, they need to come up with a Final Fantasy game where you can punch Lightning in the fucking face. That's a game I'll buy. My feelings on that, just, oh my god. When I look at something like that and then I compare it to something like Final Fantasy 6 or Final Fantasy 8, hell, my most hated Final Fantasy game used to be fucking 9 until I had to play 13. And shit, I appreciate 9, 10, and everything else till that game so much more. And I look back on it, I'm like, what the hell happened? Granted, games back then were a lot more linear. It was a lot more point A to point B. In traditional J-style RPGs, that is just the norm. This whole open world thing in Western style RPGs is just something you find, I guess, in Western style RPGs. Personally, I hate this term Western style. J-style. An RPG is a story-driven game. They both have fucking stories. I don't give a fuck what style they're drawn into, what style you want to go put them into, because the only style that matters is what style they're drawn into. That's it. Story-driven games. But playing something like Final Fantasy 8 versus fucking 13, granted, I didn't like Squall. I didn't like fucking Squall at all. I mean, he was the equivalent of a fucking emo kid with no fucking emotion at all, and the personality of a fucking banana. Literally. But then you just had great supporting characters with great personalities, interesting fucking backstories. And, you know, despite the stigma of most Final Fantasy games where it's a hero who's a certain way, who goes on a quest, and through this quest and through their friendship with their friends, changes their outlook on the world and has hope in overcoming this unbeatable fucking boss or blah, 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 you know. Cut and dry Final Fantasy logic is Hero A, Bad Guy B, Planet Z. And not all RPGs follow this format, of course. Xenogears being a tremendous leap and beyond of what a normal RPG is, and I have to definitely do a video on that game because it is literally in a league of its own. But that shit aside, I could go play that more than what I could go play something like Skyrim, where it's, if there's anything that I can't beat, I drive it into the fucking wall and I let animals, or I drive it into a fucking troll and I let them fight it out and I just beat up the winner and then steal all their fucking loot. A game in which I get lost in and I forget which aspects of the game that I actually wanted to go enjoy, it's not really a great game to me. And when I'm playing an RPG, I'm strictly in it for the story. But while Skyrim has a story, it's not the focus point. It is the environment, it is the world, and everything like that. And to me, it's just like, I could live without it. But I mean, I ask on to you and to you too, after listening through my long rant, what aspects about gaming do you miss? And more so say, what aspects about gaming back then that you want to see now? Leave a comment, subscribe, leave a video response, and hopefully I'll have another video to you real soon. Thanks, and this is just the end of my first video, but you will see me again.